The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Nicole Hennessy, Music Biz Vice President. Welcome to the Common Ground webinar series. We are finishing up the fall lineup, and here in just a few weeks, we have some upcoming presentations by Vistex, as well as Think Tank. So look for those at musicbiz.org. Under the events tab, you'll find the Common Ground webinar series, and please join us for the webinars that will finish out this year. And we're also going to start planning our 2020 webinar series. So feel free to, if you are a company who wants to present on the webinar series, reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you more about those possibilities and a member benefit for those of you who are members. Also, here at Music Biz, we're gearing up for Nylon Connect 2020. That's our Global Business Development Summit taking place January 16th and 17th at the Dream Downtown in New York City. That's high-level conversations about the future of the business. We have some great keynotes announced. Check out that lineup at nylonconnect.com. And, the big flagship event, the one that everybody talks about, Music Biz 2020, on the calendars for May 11th through the 14th. Right now, our call for presentations is open through December 2nd. So if you have fleshed out panel ideas that you would like to present for consideration on the program, check out musicbiz2020.com or the events tab at musicbiz.org, and there will be guidelines and submission instructions there letting you know how to do so. So that's kind of my housekeeping stuff for today. And most importantly, and the reason you're here is we have Jackie, CEO of Jaxsta here. I was fortunate enough, along with my coworker, Henrik, to speak with Jackie's team earlier this week and get a demo of Jaxsta Pro. And so you guys are, excuse me, in for a nice treat. Because it's a very robust system and one that I think you'll find has some great benefits to it. From an association point of view, there was things that I was in awe of because I found, different parts of the system that I think would be a great benefit for us. And I see very great potential in the ones that, wouldn't quite benefit us, but I see how they benefit so many different partners in this industry. So I'm excited for Jackie to talk to you guys about, how Jaxsta is innovating in the music credit side and give you this tour of Jaxsta Pro. So Jackie, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for letting your team work with us because we always love working with them. Jackie's going to go through her presentation and her demonstration here. And if you guys have questions during that, please feel free to put those in your questions box and Jackie will answer those at the end of the presentation. So that's enough for me. Jackie, welcome. Thank you for being here. And I'm going to put myself on mute. And if you need anything, I'm here.
Thank you. And thank you so much for giving us this opportunity because we really appreciate it. Music Biz and the Music Biz conference has been an extraordinary part of our journey as a company. So we're massive fans and very much appreciate the opportunity. So I'm Jackie Louet-Schrull. I have an unpronounceable surname, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Jaxsta. I co-founded Jaxsta with my husband, Louis Schrull, who's a songwriter, record producer, who's based in Sydney, in LA, and I'm based in Sydney. So that makes for fun times, let me tell you. The company was actually named by my husband. In case you were wondering that I named it after myself, that is not the case. In Australia, we call album jackets for the vinyl. And I know that in the States and in the UK, that's often referred to as the sleeve, but we call them jackets here. So the idea was we wanted a name that could become a verb, hey, who wrote this song? Who mastered this song? Who did the backing vocals? Which label is it with? Oh man, just Jaxsta it. So the idea was we were taking the information from the jacket. The people that worked on the albums were the stars, so they were jacket stars, so that's how we came up with the name. And it really became a concept that I first thought of in 2006. I grew up in the film and television industry. So I left high school, asked my permission of my parents for a gap year, and actually never went to uni because I just ended up working in the film industry, which is an extraordinary experience. And obviously, as you know, in film and television, the credit roll is everything. It's how you get your next gig. So in between features in Australia, I would co-produce music videos. And through doing that, I ended up being headhunted to go and work for EMI in 2006. So to put that time capsule in perspective, that's when Ask Jeeves was the #1 search engine in the world, and MySpace was kind of everything. So I had been asked to do a marketing plan for a band, beautiful band, the Decemberists, for their album, The Chrome Wife. And I was trying to find out information about Colin and the band, and I spent 6.5 hours searching. Having come from film, where I was used to using IMDb, which is a really solid resource of information, I was a bit perplexed as to why the music industry didn't have its version of, if you will, an official music credits system database. So 2006 was the concept, the idea. And then in 2013, it was a block of time before I was really in the right space and time, and Louis and I were actually, to be able to give it a go. So what we decided was that we would give it 4 months and see where we were at the end of 4 months. And 4 months of bootstrapping turned into 2.5 years. And then in 2015, we got our first angel investors, which changed everything for us. We were able to rent an office and start to hire an amazing team, the team that have actually built Jaxsta. So that's really been our journey. We've had a really big year this year. We signed Sony in August of last year, and then we started the year by signing Universal Music and then Warner. Shortly after that, we signed Merlin, and then APRA AMCOS. So right now with the 4 majors, if you will, Sony, Universal, Warner and Merlin, we have 90% of the industry's data coming into our system. So what we do is we get all the information in officially from the custodians of the data, if you will, the labels, the publishers, the industry associations. And I'm proud to say that we're the first company that the Grammys have ever given their data to. So we're very, very proud to work with the Recording Academy. So we have the official information of who was nominated and who has won a Grammy for the last 61 years. We also have a plethora of chart partners, including Spotify, Apple, the official charts company in the UK, ARIA in Australia, and we're working on growing our chart imprint every day. So we get on average anywhere from 10,000 to 20,000 updates every single day. Our database hard resets every 12 to 24 hours. So the information that's in our database is as accurate as it can possibly be. So what I'll do is just give you a quick summary of Jaxsta, and then I'll show you Pro. So basically our whole ethos is credit where credit's due. The mission of the company is really to be able to show every single individual, every recording studio, mastering engineer, label, publisher that worked on getting a release to market. So, you know, we're crediting everybody. And the fact that there hasn't been a central database of digital music credits that's official has obviously been a problem, and that's something that we work on. All of the data comes in, we deduplicate it, and then we map it and deep link it. So if you think of that vinyl experience when you would see the jacket and you'd see all of the credits, what you couldn't do is click on the name of an individual and see everything that they've done. And I'll show you the platform momentarily so you can actually see what I'm talking about. One moment. Did that go back? There we go. So as I said, data partners supply their official data. We ingest and we map the data, and then we make the data available on Jaxsta.com. And then one of our revenue streams is that we take that data and then we on-sell it with a commercial API. So for appropriate services that would like to be able to have linkable credits on their platforms. And our first revenue stream, which I'll also show you, is Jaxsta Pro. So in terms of what you get on Jaxsta.com, you get the official credits. You can search by an album, by song, by an individual, by a label. There's a comprehensive catalogue access. So to put that in perspective, we have over 100,000 individual credits in Jaxsta presently, and it's growing every day. We have 32 million individual pages of releases, 23 million releases, recording information in our database. And in terms of our size, Wikipedia has 5 million Anglo pages in their repertoire, and we already have 32, and it's literally growing every single day. All of the profiles in our platform are automatically updated. We have play links for Spotify and Apple, and we're adding new partners all the time. Soon Pandora and Deezer will be on the platform as well. As I mentioned, we have awards and nominations. We have sales certifications, so really proud to be working with RIAA. We can tell you what's gold, what's platinum, what's diamond. Song lyrics, working with our awesome partners, Lyric Find, and we have a music newsfeed as well. Now for Pro, what's different is that you can claim a profile. So if you're a manager of an artist, if you're a label, if you're a publicist, if you're the artist yourself, if you're the songwriter, the producer, the mastering engineer, the backing vocalist, you can actually claim your profile. So if you think about Instagram, where you get that blue tick and you know that it's an official page, we give you the ability to do that, but then you can go in and edit a plethora of information. Again, I'm going to show you what that looks like in a moment. We have customized chart alerts. I can't wait to show you that. We also have the top 20 music markets and a deep dive of data and industry events calendar. And coming soon, we have an amazing Works product, which is really going to help sync be approved quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to now show you Jaxsta and Jaxsta Pro. So unsure if you have actually seen our product as yet, but this is what the homepage looks like. The reason for the coloured discs is that represents the grooves on a piece of vinyl, and each colour is allocated to an entity in our database. So they represent the different roles that people play in the music industry. We've got 80% of the music industry's data loaded, and we're loading the final 10% that we have access to presently. But I'm just quickly showing you our homepage, our news feed, all important glossary, because whether you work on the data side of the music industry or just the music industry side, we're pretty good at acronym soup in our beloved industry. So you can really search anyone. You can search a songwriter, you can search an artist, you can basically search anybody. But I want to show you an example of one of my favorite discoveries from using the platform. When you go to an artist or an individual's page, you have the ability to listen. You can link off to Apple and Spotify. As I mentioned, we're adding partners all the time. You can share the page. As a Pro member, you can claim it. Now, I can't claim Adele's page because I'm not her manager. So there is a process of verification. So we can't all just go in and claim whomever we want. I can set a chart alert for Adele, and then momentarily I'll show you what that looks like. But that means that I'm basically going to get an update every day of absolutely every chart that Adele is charting on right now. But as you can see, you start to see how many releases Adele has. So she's got 18 releases, 596 songs, 15 wins, 16 nominations, and 31 certifications. It's incredible. If you look at all of her releases, what will happen is that you will see them in chronological order, and you can sort them by newest first, oldest first, most popular, A to Z. So quite a good search feature. And then if you want to, you can search where it's an album, it's a single, it's a featured artist, and then of course you can do the same with singles as well. So if we go into Skyfall, one of the things that blew me away when we looked at this is that there are 85 performers on this track. And we're pretty certain from the research that we did that you couldn't actually find a proper list of the 85 performers prior to the feed that we received from our label partners. So I may have scrolled too quickly, but as you can see, the list of people that performed on this track, obviously in the orchestral part of the song, is quite extraordinary. And this just goes on and on and on and on. So if we go back up to cello, and we click on Caroline Dale, we're about to discover that she has over 800 credits in our database for playing cello for a large number of artists, everyone from St. Paul McCartney to Florence and the Machine to Rag and Bone Man, George Michael, Andrea Bocelli. It's pretty extraordinary. And I love that we have the ability to actually see everything that she has worked on. Clearly, she is the cello player of the UK if you want someone amazing on your album. So That's a really top line overview of Jaxsta. Now what I'd like to do is show you Jaxsta Pro. So I mentioned manage profiles, charts, chart alerts, international markets, and industry events calendar. I'm sorry if the traffic's really loud, guys. It's getting to be quite early here in Sydney, so traffic's heading up outside. So I have one managed profile, Louis, my husband and co-founder of the company, and he's given me permission to manage his profile. So what I can do is I go onto his profile page, and you'll see that I now have access to these pro features. So I'm looking at his profile. I'm going to quickly look at his bio. Oh, I'd like to update that. Look at his contacts. Okay, I'd like to update that. And I think I'm going to update his links as well. So what I do is I go into edit profile, and I can go in here and I can just add in Lewis was recently in Holland. Now, I'm going to save this for this demo and then delete it, but I can add in here whatever I want. And once I hit save, and then I refresh on the home page, that will show up on the home page. So what that means, there we go. So what that means is that you can actually keep your artists, or as yourself, as a songwriter, record producer, whatever your capacity is in the industry, if you're a label, if you're a manager, you can keep your team's information updated in real time. One of the things that we'll be rolling out with Pro shortly too is a timestamp. So you'll know every time someone's updated the bio, you know who updated it at what time and where. Images are super easy to upload and to edit, and you can add at any time a credit. So let's say we wanted to add in stylist. Of course, it wasn't me. He didn't have one, but we'll just put that in for demo purposes. So if we go back to the profile and we click on Louis' image, it will tell you who the photographer is and who the stylist is. Now, obviously, that leads to a feature that's coming soon, where you'll also be able to contact those amazing creative individuals. So again, if we go into editing the profile and we go to links, I'm going to want to add in Louis' Instagram. I am totally making this up. And then I hit save. And then I go back to profile. And again, if I hit refresh, it will pop up. I just have to go out of my screen for that for 1 second. Voila, there are his links. So the other thing that we can do too, and this is really exciting with Pro, is contacts. So you own the conversation. As a Pro member, you have the ability to add and to remove contacts. So let's say we want to add some details in here, and we want to add Louis, we'll say publicist. He doesn't have one, so we'll just make it me for now. And I've automated information, and I want to put my phone number in, but you don't have to. And do I accept unsolicited material? I do not, so I hit save. And now his publicist details are in here. Again, if we go back to his profile page now, and we hit contacts, his publicist details are in there. And you can update that at absolutely any time. But you control the conversation. So if you don't want people to have your information, that's okay too. But maybe you just want them to know that you're the publicist. You don't necessarily want them to have your contact details, because you figure that they should be able to know how to contact you anyway. So we can just remove the contact, really simple. It all happens in real time. So the moment you've updated it, it's updated on the platform. So with Pro, the general public can see the image, they can see the bio, they can see the social media links, they cannot see the contacts. That's for Pro only. When you apply for a Pro subscription, we do a number of different verifications. So let's say I do want to claim Adele's page. I'll just try to do that quickly. What you will see is I can go in, I can claim. Now I have to put my details in here. Usually if you have the admin rights to the Facebook or the Twitter account particularly for an artist, it means you have the correct admin rights. but we like to have more. So we also ask for other supporting links that you may have. And then we want a label contact and a management contact so we can confirm that you are who you say you are. And then you're able to claim your profile. The other thing that you can do as a Jaxsta Pro user is that you can create a feature catalog. I'm quietly obsessed with this part of the feature. So if you think about artists, like this is amazing for artists and it's great for anybody else that creatively worked on the project, songwriters, producers, mastering engineers, backing vocalists, drummers, you know, whoever was involved, because it becomes like a visual CV for these individuals. And what's really fascinating, and it resonates particularly with our industry because it's creative, the human brain processes images 66,000 times faster than the written word. So if you are familiar with Jack and Jack, or you're familiar with Astrid S or Queen 92, you're actually going to know the album and recognize it before you've actually had the ability to read it. So it becomes a visual CV, and this part of Jaxsta Pro is seen on Jaxsta.com and on Pro, but you can only get it with a Pro account. It's super easy to use. So let's say we wanted to remove an album artwork, we can. And let's say that we want to add Nicole and we want to add Tattoo, then we just pin them and they pop up. And then it's super easy to just move the artwork to the order of which you would like it. And the more you add, the more you start to have a rotating carousel. So you can have as many releases as you want, and they will just automatically rotate. We can also set a chart alert for Louis. So let's say we want to go into a particular release. So we're going to go into Explore, and we will go into Alicia Keys. And I want to look at the song Truth. Okay, well, I'd like to see a chart alert for this track. So I'm going to hit charts. Sorry, I'm going to hit alert. And I can either pick Mark Ronson or Truth. So I'm going to hit the track Truth. Hit save. Great. But now I'm actually going to hit alert. I'm going to set an alert for Mark Ronson, which means absolutely everything that he has got in the market right now that is charting is going to come through to me as a chart alert. So that's one of the major things that we do with profiles, with charts, because we presently have Spotify, Apple, official charts company in the UK, ARIA and AIR, and we have quite a few more charts coming through, which is super exciting, and we'll announce them as they come through. You get the charts in real time, and you can choose which chart you want, whether it's Spotify, Apple, ARIA, etc. You can choose, do you want it by territory? And what type of chart do you want? And do you want it daily or do you want it weekly? And all of the information is there. Plus you can click off to the releases that are in this chart. So the idea behind this was really to save you time. So instead of you having to have 17 different browsers open, you just actually have the ability to go to one charts hub and get a top line of what's charting now. Obviously, if you want a deep dive of metrics and analytics, you use a platform like Chartmetric, who is awesome. But what we're looking to do is just a top line, that snapshot that you need to be able to get the information you need to get the info you want and then move on. Chart alerts, what it's going to show us momentarily is as a pro. I've set quite a few chart alerts for Louis. Okay, we can delete some of those. But what it shows you is how many chart alerts you actually have. And then you can see that these chart alerts are coming into my email every single day. Markets is, this was an idea that came to us after basically developing the company and doing a phenomenal number of business development trips and meetings. So in May of this year, we surpassed 3,800 presentations to the industry. And I think I've just done my 36th or 38th flight for the year. So in order to build a company, to build an artist, to to build your business, obviously it requires travel, and it's a global business, so we're dealing with lots of different countries and territories. So this is the top 20 markets as decreed by IFPI. You get a snapshot of information. What's the country's population versus their certification figures? Because if I actually go back to our front page, if you compare France to Australia as an example, their population's 3 times the population of Australia. And for gold, it's 75,000 units. And for Australia, platinum, 70,000 units. So it's fascinating to be able to see what the different certifications are by market. Obviously, we get all of that information officially by the different bodies for each country. But it gives you a snapshot of information, population versus certification figures, how many households have broadband, smartphone usage, etc. But then you can go to the directory and you have the ability to see all of the different companies and organisations that are in that particular territory. So you can see all of the companies that exist in that particular territory. Obviously, it goes on for quite some time. I hope I didn't give everybody whiplash because that was way too fast. My sincere apologies. But you can also click on, streaming services of that particular market, download services. You can click on charts. You can click on festivals and conferences, and then you have the ability to click off to their site. So with events, the other thing that you can do is plan your year. So right now we're looking bespoke at the US of A, and we can see what's coming up. You have the ability to click on an event and click off to their website, and you can add it to your calendar. So the other thing that we have done, because the idea behind that was to be able to help people plan their year. There are so many critical conferences, Music Biz being one of them. Mark those dates in your calendar from 11th of May. Wouldn't miss it for the world. So you need to be able to plan out your year and know when you're traveling and know which conferences you're going to. If you're taking an artist into market, when's the best time to go? When we were developing Jaxsta way back in 2013, I did a business trip where I booked to come to the States, to LA, and it was during Coachella, rookie mistake, because of course everybody was in Palm Springs. And then I managed to top that and book a trip to the UK when The Great Escape was on. So most of the people I wanted to meet with were also unavailable. So the idea behind this calendar is it help prevent an issue like that. So what we've also done is an industry-wide calendar. We've focused on the top 32 markets internationally, and we have picked specifically festivals, conferences, and award ceremonies that in our business would move the needle on an individual's career. So, obviously being in the lineup of the Wagga Wagga Beer and Wine Festival is great, but it's not the same as being on the lineup of Coachella. So the plan behind this is to be able to help people become more organised and just be aware of what's going on. And if you are indeed organising an event, potentially not to hold a summit or a plenary or something at this particular time, because half the industry is going to be at Music Biz. I think it was the 11th of May, if I'm right, for 2020. So yeah, that's a top line summary of what Pro offers. We've got more features coming. I'll see if I can just quickly show you a screenshot of what the Works product is going to look like. Am I looking at it properly? Yeah. So one thing that I have discovered is that my eyesight is starting to become an issue as I get older. So with Musical Works, what you'll actually be able to do when you're in the product is click on the Musical Work button that you can see here. It's highlighted in blue. And what will come up for you is all of the information for that piece of music, minus the song splits, because we're not interested in song splits, we're focused on credits. So you'll be able to go into a track, find out who the original composers are, who their original publishers are, and then who the publishers are in sub-territories. So if, say for example, we had collectively as a group produced an indie film and we wanted 4 seconds of AC/DC's Highway to Hell, it's highly unlikely we'd be able to afford it. But what we could do is we could go in and we could actually see, okay, who are the publishers in the different sub-territories. We could certainly try to negotiate for it. But if we couldn't, we'd also be able to look at other mastered versions of the track and be able to contact those labels and those people and be able to, get that approved ideally faster. But if you have the budget, what's great about it is you know who you need to contact. If it's, if it's Reservoir, you've got to speak to Donna Cassine. If it's Universal Music Group in Australia, you need to speak to Alan Hunt. If it's Sony ATV in Australia, it's Marie Hamblin. So what it helps you do is connect the dots faster. As people start to put their contact details in Jaxsta Pro, obviously that's going to become an incredible resource. But again, it's behind a paid wall and it's only for industry professionals. So that's probably that's probably a great summary of our product in general. And I might see if we have any questions. Except I can't get. Can you see if we have any questions, mate? We have a question. If you are a label, how do you get your data into Jaxsta? Great question. Love that question because we're signing data partners all the time. So it's really easy. All you have to do is contact our data partnerships team. We have a really great biz dev team. Dick Huey, who some of you may or may not know, is a wonderful human being, is based out of New York. The wonderful Nick Babetsky, who's based in LA, and the awesome Josh Jackson. You can see I'm totally biased. I love our team. They're amazing. Josh Jackson, who's based in the UK and Europe. There's also Matilda Allerfeld. So there are a number of people that you can reach out to. And if you go onto our website, we do actually have the contacts. We do actually have the contacts. So you're actually able to reach out to the team and basically send through your request to become a data partner. So we will also, at the end of this webinar, we're going to be sending everybody a discount to Jaxsta Pro. So it is $150 US per annum, and we're going to send you a discount for $120 US per annum for a membership, but we'll make sure the contact details are in there. So what you do is you contact our team. If you're an indie and you're signed to Merlin, it's really easy just to opt into the Merlin deal, and then you just distribute to us via your distributor. So, whether it's Fuga, it's CD Baby, it's Ingrooves, we're working with most of the distributors. Any of the distributors that we haven't yet signed with, feel free to give them a shout out that you want to deliver to us, because that's a great thing. But we've got, I think, 90% of the distributors. So it's a really easy thing to do, and we'd 100% love to have you on board. And with our products, what we do with our revenue streams is that there's a rev share back to all of our partners, because we're building this product with the industry and for the industry. And the thing that's really important about what we're doing is that this information is as accurate and up to date as humanly possible. And that's really important to us. So that's why we want the data to come from the custodians of the data. That's important to us. Is there another question, BPA? What was that one? I'd already covered that one. No other questions?
No, that's it.
Everybody feel free, your questions box on your screen is where you can submit those questions to Jackie, so feel free to do so.
No one's got a question. Well, I'll give you an example of a really lovely experience I had. I'm not sure if most of you are aware of Emma Lazar. She's an incredible mastering engineer, Grammy award nominated and a winner. And I showed her the chart alerts that I had set for her, and it had something like 40 or 50 songs that she was charting in, which was absolutely spectacular. And it was quite a moment to be able to show that to her. So what's great about it too is the ability that you have to be able to click on, somebody else's work, somebody that you admire. If you love the sound, you can go, well, who mastered it? If you love the production, who are the producers? Then you can just click on any of them and go to everything else that they've worked on. I have to tell you, it's pretty addictive. You really do start to go down the rabbit hole for sure, and click away. One of our friends that runs a major publishing company here in Australia actually had to set time limits for their staff because they were spending so much time on the platform. That made me really happy. So yeah, as you can see, there's just so much information, and it's really easy to just keep clicking. Especially because you have the ability to have the lyrics, and you also have the ability to play the track. So it really starts to become a, you know, a 360 experience, which is pretty great. One of the revenue streams that we're going to be launching in the first quarter of next year too is our commercial API. So what that involves is us being able to take the credits from a track, so you know who were the team behind it, and then on-sell that to you know, various appropriate partners. So we're talking to different digital service providers, for example, that are interested in having linkable credits. So again, that quintessential vinyl experience, but even better because then you can click on somebody's name and see everything that they've done. And because of the way that we deduplicate the data and we map it together, the results are extremely accurate, which is a really exciting thing to be able to click on an individual and know that it is Paul Dempsey and that it's not a different Paul Dempsey, you know, from 1952. It's all been mapped through identifiers and also through our intellectual property, which we're quite protective of, which I'm sure you would appreciate.
So Jackie, we have a number of questions here. I don't see them on my screen. I don't know if you see them on Bo's screen. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to upgrade Bo to an organizer. Bo, your screen should change, and hopefully then those questions will come through. If not, I have Henrik here. They're on his screen. He will be able to see them, but there's a number of them flooding in.
Oh, great. Oh.
I see.
This is from Samika. Is the decision to not include song splits a strategic one? I could see potential value there. Thanks, Samiko. It's a really good question. Look, we decided not to get into song splits because we just felt it was a very contentious and political area, and what we wanted to focus on really were the credits versus the song splits, because the song splits are obviously very personal to the songwriters and the composers of the track, and also too, it's not necessarily something that the whole world needs to have access to, and not necessarily every single silo of the industry. So we decided not to focus on song splits because there are a number of, obviously, of publishers, performance royalty organizations and other companies that are doing a really great job in that area, and hence we're focused solely on the credits. So I hope that answered the question. And then Anna Miller asked the question, is it possible to claim multiple profiles under one login? Yes, Anna. So when you buy a Jaxsta Pro subscription, is it 3? You can claim 5. So I just had to check with my colleague because this has been a hot topic in the office here. You can claim 5 profiles. And then if you want to claim more than that, you simply contact our sales enterprise team and we work with you to get you what you need. So obviously appreciating that, you know, managers and others will have multiple clients as will labels. And then will you accept data from a business manager as a data partner? You know, presently we're focused on labels, on publishers, performance royalty organizations, certification companies, chart companies and awards, but we are looking into that for the future. So again, when we send the email out post the event, I'll make sure that all the contact details are in there so that you can pick up that thread with us. I know that it's one that Josh Jackson and Nick Babetsky and Nick would be very interested in picking up. There's a question here from Jody Tack. If you're a label and you're entering your credits into Jaxsta's database, is there a way to download, export your data if you need it in a consolidated format in the future? Yes. So what we do, Jody, is it's obviously very important to us that we help improve the data with all of our partners, so we can actually give feedback to you of your data. And in terms of having it in a download export, we're working on different formats of that because our partners would like it in different types of formats. So the answer is yes, that is coming, and we're excited to be able to do that with our partners.
Can share.
And obviously you can obviously share your page with people as well, but I'm you're talking about a data feed there. So there's a question here from Elena Solon, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Do you assign unique IDs to individuals in the database? Yes, we do. How do you differentiate between two people with same names? Great question. And one of the biggest challenges that we have had building this amazing database, and to be fair, our brilliant CIO, Phil Morgan, should really be answering this question because he deserves all the credit. But we use a number of unique identifiers. We don't actually base it on name matching, and we do assign bespoke Jaxsta IDs to every individual. So we use, obviously, we're a big fan of ISNI. It's probably one of the greatest identifiers in the music industry, so proud to support that. Obviously ISRCs, ISWCs, there are a number of different identifiers that we use, but we do assign everybody a unique ID, and that helps us deduplicate the database. Considering the volume of data that we receive, the platform Jaxsta.com only went live on I think it was the 13th of June of this year. So we've been doing a phenomenal amount of deduplication. We started with 13.9 million duplicates, and it's now down to 2.7 million. So we're pretty proud of that work. There's obviously more work to be done, which is why it's still in beta. But yeah, the identifiers are pretty critical. Another question here from Raymond. Is Jaxsta accepting applications for internships? Raymond, we always love interns. We're based in Sydney, and a lovely story. We had an amazing intern from Boston University, Eleanor, who came to Sydney, who was absolutely flipping amazing, totally stole our hearts, and proud to say she now works for us based in LA, which is really cool. But yeah, we're always accepting interns. And also our team in the States and the UK are keen to have interns as well, so you don't have to physically be in Sydney. Contact details will be on the email. Jeremy Holiday. The label for which I work is continually doing cleanup work. That's amazing to our metadata in our internal system. Do our updates flow through to Jaxsta, or does the data need to be manually updated in Jaxsta? Oh, we do absolutely no manual updating in the platform whatsoever. So how it works is through your distributor, whatever you feed through to the distributor, it comes through to us at our end. Because of the system that we've set up, it goes straight into the front end of the product. And before I finish the question, what I'll do is I'll show you an example of a feedback ticket. So if anything in the platform is incorrect, or let's say a drummer got left off a credit, you have the ability to log a ticket with us, and then we log it with the label or whoever supplied the data, but we do not manually edit any of the credits in our platform. It's for a number of reasons. First and foremost, it's to make sure that the platform is as credible and accurate as humanly possible, and also too because it does a hard refresh every 12 hours because credits are being updated all the time. Isabel, can you claim the multiple profiles? Yes, you can, Isabel. As per the previous question, when you buy a Jaxsta Pro subscription, you get 5 profile claims. But if you need more than that, because you have a larger number of artists or people that you manage or label, you just contact our sales team, enterprise team, and they will help set you up with an enterprise license. CY Lee, I'm building a music app. Cardoid, is there an API for being able to retrieve songwriter and other credits information for a song? CY, there's an API coming, which is really exciting. So when we send the email out, if you reach out to Dick Huey and Josh Jackson in particular, we'll be able to start a conversation with you and put you on a list, because there's a fabulous list of people that want the API, and we're all for getting those credits out there. So absolutely. Jody, she's awesome, or he is awesome, asking lots of great questions. Is there a way to download expect your data? Oh, I think I answered that one. So yes, Jody, that is coming. Do you plan to be at Music Biz? Absolutely, Jennifer. I never, ever, ever, ever miss Music Biz. For my money, Music Biz, Indie Week and Aircon are the 3 best conferences that I attend throughout the year, and I will 100% be there. David Arzo, will you be linking recordings to compositions? Yes, we do. So you can actually go into the platform now and see that. Patrick, what's the biggest challenge in collecting accurate data and data conflicts? Yeah, data conflicts is a really good one because obviously there are a lot of them in our beloved industry. So if a conflict is logged with us, and especially through a data partner, what we do is, as requested by the partner, we hide the conflict until it's resolved. But in terms of collecting accurate data, you know, you're probably, hopefully, all familiar with DDEX, who are the brilliant body that are helping set the standards for metadata in our industry. And I'm really excited to say that so many of the companies in our business are really working on improving their data. It's going to take time, but there have been huge wins that have been made. So it's really about capturing the data in an accurate format as early on in the process as possible. I mean, ideally in the recording studio, so that what gets sent to the A&R manager at the label is as accurate as humanly possible, and so that there aren't confusions as it gets handed from, you know, one partner to another. But it's definitely a process, and the key is to get it right and accurate as soon as humanly possible and as early in the process. We accept data from our partners. And I joke when I say carrier pigeon all the way up to DDEX ERN, but we really do accept data from, it's not preferable, but obviously email, Word docs, Google Sheets, Excel spreadsheets, HTML, CSV, all the way to DDEX ERN. We'll work with our partners on whatever your system is, what's working for you. We will get that data ingested into our system. But obviously, if you've got a distributor and it comes through them, that's great. Chris, our lovely friend Chris McMurdy from Exactuals. Well done, Jackie and team. Pumped. Thank you, my friend. That's so nice. Nathan Hunter, what other services do you see your platform partnering with for listening outside Apple and Spotify? Well, obviously, we're talking to our friends at Deezer. We're talking to our friends at Amazon. I'd love to be able to add Angami from the Middle East, and obviously different service providers from Asia. I'd love to add Claro Musico for the Latin American market. So we're going to start adding different platforms. There's another great platform that's come out recently called Ursa. So would really love to add a play link for them as well. Anna Miller has asked, if you find that there is a duplicate profile for the same artist, can you merge them? Great question. You will discover when you go into the platform that that's still in existence for us. There's sometimes 6 or 7 duplicates. So every single day we have a system where we're taking, a certain number of role entities. So whether it's an artist, it's a group of producers, it's mastering engineers, it's the guitarist. And then we see how many duplicates there are, and then we start to merge them. But obviously there's a phenomenal amount of information, so we're still going through the process. But yes, we do. And because of the feedback ticket, how our system works is the moment that you log a feedback, and actually, let me just show you, Anna and everybody, whoops, I just turned the camera off instead of sharing my screen. Did that work? Oh, great. So let's just go into Jaxsta and I'll show you. That is not what I wanted to do. I did not want to see myself on screen at large. That was kind of distressing. View, full screen. Okay, so let's, let me search. So this is a good example. See how there's Serban Ganea, Serban. It's kind of likely that those are the same people. So what we do is we basically put our name in and we add a ticket. Issue merging Exurban, because this is a real ticket that's going to go to my team. I'm writing it to them from me, but you can just write, hi, Jaxsta, there is an issue when I search Serban Guinea that he has not been merged. Please fix. Thank you, JLS. So then what I can do is add a screenshot. I hit highlight, and I basically highlight the area that I want to focus on. And then up in the top right-hand corner, I hit done, and then I hit submit. It takes a second as the screenshot uploads, and then I'll get a thank you ticket. And what happens is that immediately goes into our Jira system, and a ticket is allocated and it is sent through to our dev team. They log the ticket, and then it goes into our next sprint to be fixed. So it's that simple, and you can do the same thing. You can do the same thing when it comes to, there you go, you got the notification. You can do the same thing when it comes to an issue in the data, like the wrong drum is there, for example. Question from Tara Austin. What about vocalists, musicians updating their info on other projects that do not have them credited in the data? That's a great point, Tara. So that example that I just gave now, where we were merging Serban, you can do the exact same thing if you're not credited on something. So let's just go into Staying Alive BGs. I have to share my screen. Yep, thanks, BPA. My colleague Bo is sitting next to me telling me I've got 5 minutes. So let's just say that I'm not listed on here as piano player. Wow, what a song to be listed as piano player. My credit is missing. Hi there. My credit as piano, as drummer, because my dad was a drummer, is missing. How do I fix this? Thanks. I can add a screenshot if I want to, but most importantly, what happens is a ticket is now logged in our Jira system, and our team will come back to you, and they will ask you for some information to prove your credit on that. We then on-send that to our data partner, and they end up fixing it at their end most of the time, unless it's a vexatious claim, which we've found 98% of the time it's not. The fastest turnaround we've had for a credit being fixed is 12 days. The longest has been 6 weeks. But obviously our partners want their data to be accurate, so they're pretty grateful to get the information. Isabel, when you get pro, can you claim multiple profiles? Yes, you can. Floris has asked, hi, sorry, joined late. If this question was already asked, answered. Here we go. Could I get access to your data to enrich mine? Fingerprinting company. If so, how? Fee? Good question. Floris, yes, we're going to be launching an API in the first quarter of next year. So when we send the email out at the end of the webinar, there'll be contact details, and I recommend reaching out to Dick Huey and Josh Jackson, who'll be able to pick up those conversations with you. Jeremy Holiday, we've found a lot of bad old metadata in our system that we're in the process of scrubbing. Awesome, but that will take some years given the size of our catalogue. Is that bad data now publicly visible on Jaxsta? Jeremy, I'm unsure. If you go into Jaxsta and do a search of your repertoire and see, that's probably the best way to assess. Matilda Allerfeld, who's our customer service manager, client services manager for our partners. Details will also be on the email, and you can reach out to her, and we can see how we can help you with that. I'm just going to get some water because I'm starting to get a frog in my throat. You may have heard of the bushfires that are in Australia at the moment. It's like our country is on fire, so air quality is particularly poor at the moment. So a question from Anna Miller, is there a verification process for data that is input by a user once they have claimed a profile? So when you claim a profile, you can't put any credits into the platform. We still have to get that automated CV from the partners, it's really got to go through our system. But in terms of the bio, that is obviously up to the individual, the publicist, the label to produce. And so that's coming from a verified individual. You wouldn't claim that you had worked on a project that you hadn't, because it's not going to show up in your automated CV that comes through. Are you thinking of adding ISWCs, Floris? I like you, Floris. Yes, we are. Jeremy Stevenson, do you have a quality control process to make sure all data is correct? Look, Jeremy, we do the very best we can. Not all the data is correct in the industry, so it's good data in, and then it's the best that we can do from there. But I have to say, all of our partners are doing an incredible job of working on their data all the time. So it's only getting better all the time. But is the platform perfect? No, it's not perfect on any platform anywhere in the world, because there's obviously data issues, but our data is pretty damn good considering the deduplication, and also because of the number of partners that we have. We get an extraordinary feed from our partners. Jeremy Holiday, is Jaxsta making its own updates to data received from the feed? No, we do not modify the data. So whatever feed we get, we map it together, we deduplicate it, and then deep link it. But we certainly do not edit the data. Does Jaxsta receive data straight from the studio level via RIN? Oh, you legend, Jennifer. That's awesome that you know about RIN, which is a format from DDEX, Recorded Information Notification. We love RIN. RIN hasn't made its way all the way through to Jaxsta yet, but it's absolutely in the process. Companies like Viva Collect that are doing great work with RIN, and there are other companies that are doing really great work. I know Sessions is also working on a RIN platform within Pro Tools, but yeah, eventually it will make its way all the way to Jaxsta, and we cannot wait for that day. That's going to be fantastic. Cara McGee, do you have plans to ingest credits data from independent labels? We already do, Cara. Actually, the indie industry has been a phenomenal support of ours, and we're so grateful for their support and their love. We signed a deal with Merlin in June. We're a member of A2IM in America, AIM in the UK, and AIR in Australia. So the indies are absolutely important to us, and one of our top priorities. So yeah, indies are actually already in the platform and adding more. C.Y. Lee, excellent. Thank you, mate. Isabel, thank you. This is awesome. Oh, you guys are filling my heart. Jody, do you also include non-personal related data like genre and mood tags, beats per minute? Oh, I love this question. Keywords, sync usages, related artists. So sync usages, we've been talking to the Music Supervisors Guild, Jonathan McHugh and others about that. So we're looking into that. But if we do that, it'll be probably be late 2020, early 2021. Keywords we're working on. Related artists we actually have. So we have collaborators. Genre, mood, beats per minute. Watch this space. That's something I can't wait to have in there. Jeremy Stevenson, are you working with Google to have Jaxsta show up high in web results? We are. So we're working on, it's a great question, Jeremy. We're working on SEO. But right now, if you actually search official music credits for an individual, it does come up. What do you do if an artist has different names or aliases? That's a really good question, particularly because aliases are really important. And in some cases, and this is a really great conversation we've been having with publishers and the PROs. Sometimes they don't want their alias revealed. So we're very sensitive to that, and we work through that with our data partners. And then Nathan Hunter's question, right now we use DDEX ERN. That's awesome. Message Suite to send metadata to you. Any plans to use the MLC notification in the future? Thanks, Nathan. Yeah, we are actually looking into that. There's a lot that we want to do. We already have 1,500 improvements to the site that we've logged in tickets. So yeah, we have great plans. No, any other questions? They were great questions, everyone. Thank you so much. Oh, one more, great. Do you have plans to include pointers to Songkick artist IDs, IMDb, Instagram, verified accounts? Yes. Oh, so absolutely. So actually, what you can do now is, let me share my screen. I'll go back in. Did that work? Yep, great. And we'll quickly just go into Pro, we'll go into Manage Profiles, and we'll quickly go into Louis' page. And I'll show you how easy it is to update dedicated links. So if we go into Edit Profile, and then we click on Links, I can actually add Songkick here. And let's just pretend this is the URL. I know it's not, so bear with me, but let's just say that we did that. And that was the correct URL. I must make sure I go in and fix Louis' page after this demo. He's going to wonder what the hell happened. But you can see straight away that Songkick is there. So yeah, you can actually do that, which is we think pretty cool. You know, the idea behind that was that you get on top of the wave as quickly as possible. So you know, whatever the next TikTok is, for example, you've got the information on your page ready to go straight away. I really can't thank you all enough for your time today. I really, really, really appreciate it, and the questions were awesome. So we look forward to sending you a follow-up email, giving you a discount to Jaxsta Pro, connecting you with our team, so that we can work with all of you ideally. But again, thank you so much for your time, and Music Biz, you legends, thank you so much for setting this up. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jackie. Very informative presentation. Great questions from the audience today. So thank you all very much for being on the Common Ground webinar series. We will see you back here next week. Thank you all. Have a great afternoon.
Brilliant. Thank you.